The sky above the royal city was calm, painted with soft silver clouds that floated like slow ships over the tall towers. In the main palace, guards stood in shining armor, their spears raised high, watching the gates carefully. It was an ordinary morning until a single signal bell rang from the watchtower. The sound echoed through the city and filled the streets with whispers. Something unusual had been seen on the horizon. The queen sat on her throne in the great hall when her first advisor hurried in, bowing low. His voice shook as he spoke. "My queen, a figure approaches from the far path. The guards believe it is someone familiar." The queen's heart raced. For years she had carried a wound that never healed. Many seasons ago, her young daughter had been lost during a journey through the outer stars. The royal ships searched endlessly, but no sign was ever found. The queen never spoke of her grief, yet her eyes often carried the shadow of it. Now, to hear her advisor speak of someone familiar, her hands gripped the arms of the throne. "Bring me to the gates," she ordered. The palace doors opened, and the queen walked with her guards behind her. Citizens filled the sides of the street, whispering and pointing. At the gate stood a young woman, her head held high though her clothes were torn from travel. Her face, though older, was unmistakable. The queen's breath caught in her throat. It was her daughter. Gasps spread among the people. Some fell to their knees. The queen rushed forward, her arms trembling. She stopped only a step away, afraid her eyes were lying. But when the girl looked up and whispered, "Mother," the queen embraced her tightly. Unable to hold back her tears, joy filled the air, yet confusion soon followed. For the princess was not alone. At her side stood two small human children. They clung to her hands, staring wide-eyed at the crowd of alien faces around them. Their clothes were simple, patched in places. Their eyes carried both fear and bravery. The queen pulled back, her voice breaking. "My child, you have returned to me. But tell me, who are these human children, and why do they stand at your side?" The princess looked down at the two humans with a soft smile. "They are my friends, mother. They came with me because without them, I would not be here at all." The people murmured in shock. Humans were known across the stars, but they were not often seen in the royal city. Many believed humans were fragile, weak compared to other races. And yet here were the small ones, standing as if they belonged beside a royal heir. The queen gestured for all three to follow her inside the palace. The crowd watched in silence as the gates closed behind them. Inside the great hall, the royal council gathered quickly. Old nobles with stern faces whispered to one another. The queen sat upon her throne again, her daughter standing proudly before her. The humans clung close, not letting go of her hands. "Tell me everything," the queen said. Her voice was firm, but her eyes were filled with love. The princess bowed her head respectfully. "I was taken, mother, long ago, when our ship was ambushed near the Shadow Fields. I was carried away by those who wished to keep me from you. They hid me far from our worlds. I thought I would never see you again." Gasps filled the room, but she raised her voice, steady and clear. "Then a ship came. It was not one of ours. It was a human vessel, a small family traveling the stars. They found me when I was alone. They gave me food, they gave me water, and they gave me hope. I was weak, but they never left me. These two children are from that family. When danger returned, they helped me escape. Without them, I would not have found my way back here." The council exchanged looks. Some nodded in respect, but others frowned. One of the oldest nobles stepped forward. "My queen, we must be careful. Humans are known, yes, but they are not trusted in our courts. To bring them inside the palace is dangerous. They may be tools of our enemies." The queen raised her hand sharply. "Enough!" Her gaze softened as she turned to the children. They looked small under the high ceiling of the hall, yet their eyes held a quiet strength. She saw how they held her daughter's hands tightly, not for their own safety, but to comfort her. "Tell me your names," the queen said gently. The older of the two stepped forward, his voice shaking but brave. "My name is Sam. This is my sister, Anna. We only wanted to help. We did not wish to cause harm." The council whispered again, but the queen silenced them with a look. She rose from her throne and walked down the steps until she stood before the children. Her tall figure made them tilt their heads back to see her face. For a moment, silence filled the hall. Finally, the queen knelt. Her great robes touched the floor as she lowered herself to their level. "You are far from your home, children, yet you walked through danger to stand beside my daughter. For that, you have my respect." Anna, the younger one, spoke in a small but clear voice. "She is our friend. We could not leave her behind." The queen felt her heart stir. She saw honesty in their eyes. She saw courage where others only saw weakness. She looked back at her daughter, who nodded firmly. "These humans are not enemies." The princess said, "They are family to me." The queen stood tall again, her voice echoing across the chamber. "Then they are under my protection. As my daughter has returned, so to have her companions. They will be treated with honor while they remain in this palace," the council bowed, though some reluctantly. The order was final. That night, the palace was alive with celebration. Music filled the halls, and the people rejoiced that the lost princess had returned. Yet whispers still moved like shadows, questions of where she had been, who had taken her, and why humans were now tied to the royal family. The queen, however, cared only for the truth in her daughter's eyes. She had returned, alive and strong. The two human children ate quietly at the great table, marveling at the foods of another world. Some nobles kept their distance, but a few brave servants smiled kindly at them. As the stars rose above the palace, the queen stood at her balcony, watching the night. She felt joy, but also unease. The return of her daughter was a miracle, yet miracles often carried secrets. Why had her enemies kept the princess alive? Why had humans been drawn into this tale? She looked back at the hall where laughter still rang. The humans sat close to her daughter, their small figures glowing in the candlelight. The queen whispered to herself, "Perhaps they are more important than anyone here can yet see." And so, the first night of their return ended with both joy and mystery. The kingdom celebrated, the queen held her daughter close, and two small humans stood at the heart of a story that was only beginning. The next morning, the palace stirred with whispers. Servants carried trays of fruit and bread, their steps quick as they hurried through the corridors. Guards changed shifts at the gates, but their eyes often wandered toward the guest chambers where the humans stayed. The whole palace was restless. It was not every day that a lost princess returned from the stars, and it was even rarer for her to bring humans into the royal halls. The queen rose early. She dressed in robes of deep blue, her crown resting lightly upon her brow. Her heart was heavy with questions. Joy had filled her the night before, yet now curiosity and doubt pressed harder. She wanted to know everything about where her daughter had been, and how these human children fit into the story. She entered the small garden behind the throne room. Dew still glistened on the silver leaves, and quiet fountains whispered among the stones. There, she found her daughter sitting with Sam and Anna. The three were laughing softly, their faces bright with the innocence of children who had shared hard journeys together. The queen watched for a moment before stepping forward. "My child," she said. Her voice carried warmth, but also firmness. "It is time for us to speak. There is much I must understand." The princess rose quickly, bowing her head with respect. Sam and Anna stood behind her, their small hands clasped together nervously. "I will tell you all I can, mother," the princess said. "But please, may Sam and Anna stay with me? They are part of this story as much as I am." The queen nodded. She led them to the council chamber, where long windows cast light across polished stone. Already the nobles had gathered, their robes rich with colors of rank. Some looked at the children with sharp eyes, but none dared speak until the queen was seated. "Daughter," the queen began, "tell us again what happened when you were taken. Leave no detail hidden. We must know who our enemies are and why they wish to keep you from us." The princess breathed deeply. "When our ship was attacked, I was carried away by soldiers wearing black armor. They spoke little, but I heard them mention the shadow fields. They wanted to hide me where no one would think to look. I was kept in a silent place, a station without light. I thought my end had come." Her hands trembled slightly, but Sam reached forward and touched her arm. Steadying her, She smiled gratefully before continuing. One night, an old human ship appeared by chance. A family aboard was searching for resources. They discovered the station and entered. They found me there and brought me to safety. I was weak and could barely stand, but they cared for me. They did not ask for reward. They only wanted to help. Sam stepped forward, his voice small but clear. We shared food with her. Our mother gave her soup. Our father taught her how to fix broken panels on the ship. We traveled together. The nobles shifted uncomfortably. One of them, Lord Varan, spoke with a sneer. Are we to believe that fragile humans rescued the heir of our throne? This sounds more like a tale told by dreamers than truth. The queen's eyes narrowed. Do not forget, Lord Varan, that she stands before us now alive. Do you doubt your own eyes? Varan lowered his head but muttered under his breath. The princess continued. The danger did not end. Those who had taken me searched the stars for me again. They wished to silence me forever. But with the help of Sam, Anna, and their family, I escaped. We ran from one system to another. We hid when ships searched. At last, we found the path back to our worlds. My friends walked beside me through it all. I would not have survived without them. The queen listened carefully. Each word filled her with both relief and unease. Relief that her daughter lived, but unease at the shadows that still lingered. Who were these enemies in black armor? Why had they gone to such lengths to steal away her heir? She turned to the council. We will investigate this enemy. We will learn who sent them and why. Until then, my daughter and her companions are under my guard. The chamber fell silent. But the silence did not last. That evening, rumors swept through the city. Some citizens celebrated the princess's return with dances in the streets. Others whispered doubts about the humans. Why are they here? Some asked, what if they are spies? The humans, meanwhile, stayed close to the princess. They explored the palace carefully, marveling at the tall ceilings and glowing crystals that lit the halls. Anna liked the garden most of all. She ran between flowers that shone like silver stars, laughing as water birds splashed in the fountains. Sam, however, noticed the suspicious stares of guards and nobles. He kept Anna close, his young face serious beyond his years. That night, as the queen walked the palace corridors, she overheard voices behind a door. A group of nobles whispered fiercely. The queen is blinded by love for her daughter, one hissed. These humans cannot be trusted, another said. If they stay, they may weaken us. Or worse, betray us. The queen closed her eyes. Doubt was spreading faster than she could calm it. She returned to her chamber and stared out at the stars. She knew the coming days would not be simple. The next morning, a messenger arrived with news that chilled the court. A patrol ship near the Shadow Fields had vanished. Only a faint distress call was heard before silence. The queen's advisor bowed low before her. My queen, it may be the same enemy who once took your daughter. They may have returned. Gasps echoed across the throne room. All eyes turned toward the princess and the humans. Sam and Anna held each other's hands tightly. The queen rose from her throne, her voice strong. Then we will be ready. But let no one forget who stood at my daughter's side when others abandoned her. These children may be small, but they have shown more courage than many grown warriors. They will not be cast aside. Her words silenced the hall. Yet she saw in many eyes the seed of doubt had not died. That night, the princess sat with Sam and Anna in her chamber. A fire burned softly in the hearth, casting gentle light across the walls. Are you afraid? Anna asked her. The princess smiled sadly. Yes, but not for myself. I fear for what may come to this kingdom. The shadows that took me may come again. Yet with you beside me, I am stronger. You gave me hope when I had none. Sam clenched his small fists. Then we will stay with you. We will help however we can. The princess touched their hands. Thank you, my friends. Outside the chamber, unseen in the dark halls, a figure slipped quietly through the shadows. Eyes glowed faintly in the torchlight before vanishing again. The palace was not as safe as it seemed, and so, as joy still filled the city, unseen dangers began to gather. The queen's daughter had returned, but the truth of her capture was still hidden in darkness. The humans were now part of the royal circle, yet many watched them with suspicion. The queen knew the days ahead would test not only her rule, but the bond between her daughter and the two unexpected children who had walked into her world. The days after the princess's return were filled with both celebration and unease. Citizens decorated the streets with banners, and children sang songs about the lost heir who had finally come home. Yet behind the joy, whispers grew stronger. The shadow of the missing patrol ship hung over the city like a dark cloud. Inside the palace, the queen held long meetings with her council. Maps were spread across polished tables, showing the border systems near the shadow fields. Messengers came and went with reports, none of them bringing good news. Ships had sighted strange signals near the trade routes, but when scouts approached, the signals vanished. One morning, the queen called her daughter and the humans into the council chamber. The room was filled with nobles, their faces tense. "My daughter," the queen said, her voice calm but heavy, "we fear that the enemy who once took you has returned. You lived among them longer than any of us. Did you see or hear anything that could help us now?" The princess lowered her eyes for a moment. Her hands tightened together before she spoke. They called themselves the Veil. They were secretive and cruel. Their leader always wore black armor with a mask that hid his face. I never knew his name, but his voice was deep and cold. He said he wanted to break the bond between mother and child, between queen and heir. He believed our kingdom would weaken if I was lost. Gasps filled the hall. The queen's face darkened with fury, but she kept her voice steady. "Then this Veil is no simple band of raiders. They seek to harm the crown itself." Sam and Anna exchanged worried glances. They had heard these words before, on the human ship where the princess had hidden. Sam stepped forward, his young voice steady. "Your Majesty, I remember something. When we were escaping, I overheard the soldiers speaking. They said they were building something in the shadow fields. A base, or maybe a weapon. They said it was nearly complete." The council erupted in noise. Some shouted that the words of a child could not be trusted, while others demanded that the queen listen. The queen raised her hand, silencing them. Her gaze fixed on Sam. "You are sure of this?" "Yes, Majesty," Sam said. "I remember clearly. They said the base would be hidden where no light could find it." The queen leaned back on her throne, deep in thought. If Sam spoke the truth, then the danger was greater than she feared. The Veil was not just returning. They were preparing for war. That night, the queen met privately with her daughter. They sat together in the royal chamber, the firelight casting soft shadows on the walls. "My child," the queen said gently, "these humans are young, yet they have seen much. Do you trust their words?" The princess nodded without hesitation. "I do. They never lied to me. When all seemed lost, they stood by me. Even when it meant risking themselves, they never left my side." The queen touched her daughter's hand, seeing the strength in her eyes. "Then I, too, will trust them. But know this, many in the court do not. We must tread carefully." Meanwhile, in the palace corridors, Lord Varan gathered a small group of nobles who shared his doubts. He whispered to them in secret rooms, his eyes sharp with suspicion. "The queen's love blinds her. These humans are dangerous. If they are allowed to stay, they may lead us all to ruin." The nobles murmured agreement, though none dared speak against the queen openly. Still, the seed of division was growing. The next morning, the queen decided to test the truth of Sam's words. She ordered the scout ships to fly toward the shadow fields. Guided by the rough directions the boy remembered, the ships departed with speed, carrying the hopes of the kingdom. Days passed with no word. Then, on the fifth night, a signal arrived. The scouts had found something in the dark, a hidden structure, vast and glowing faintly against the void. Before they could report further, the signal cut out. The queen's face was pale as she heard the news. "The Veil's base exists," she said. Sam's warning was true. The council argued fiercely. Some demanded immediate attack, while others called for patience. The queen silenced them all with a single command. "We will act with wisdom, not haste. But let no one question the courage of the humans again. They have spoken truth where many doubted." The princess felt pride swell in her heart as she looked at Sam and Anna. The children stood quietly beside her. but their faces shone with quiet strength. That evening, as the palace prepared for rest, a sudden alarm echoed through the halls. The sound of horns filled the air. Guards rushed to their posts, and citizens peered from windows in fear. The queen hurried to the balcony, her daughter and the humans beside her. Across the night sky, dark shapes moved against the stars. Enemy ships. The veil had come. The palace defenses lit up, beams of light striking upward to meet the intruders. Explosions flared in the sky as the battle began. Inside the palace, chaos spread. Some nobles fled to hidden chambers, while others tried to rally soldiers. The queen stood firm, commanding her guards with steady voice, "Protect the gates. Shield the people. Let none breach the walls." But even as the battle raged above, whispers of betrayal stirred inside the palace. A group of cloaked figures slipped through hidden passages, their steps silent. They moved not toward the gates, but toward the royal chambers. The princess, Sam, and Anna were guided by guards to a safe room. Yet Sam felt uneasy. He tugged the princess's sleeve. "Something is wrong. They are not just attacking outside. I can feel it." The princess frowned, but before she could answer, the sound of footsteps echoed in the hall. The door burst open, and cloaked figures rushed in, weapons drawn. The guards fought bravely, but the attackers moved with deadly skill. One by one, the guards fell, until only the children and the princess remained. The leader of the attackers stepped forward, his mask gleaming black. His voice was the same deep and cold sound the princess remembered. "You should have stayed lost, child of the queen. Now you will be lost forever." The princess stood protectively in front of Sam and Anna. Her heart pounded, but she would not step aside. At that moment, Anna spotted a loose crystal lamp hanging from the ceiling. With quick thinking, she grabbed a fallen spear and swung at the chain. The lamp crashed down, shattering with a burst of light and sparks. The sudden blaze blinded the attackers long enough for the princess to pull Sam and Anna toward the hidden passage behind the wall. They ran through narrow tunnels, their breaths loud in the silence. The palace shook with distant explosions. The veil was inside the walls, and the danger was closer than anyone had feared. When they finally emerged into a guarded chamber, the queen was already there, her sword drawn, her crown set aside. Relief filled her face when she saw her daughter and the humans alive. "You were right," she said, pulling them close. "The veil has returned with greater strength than before. But they made one mistake. They thought we would break. They thought we would fall. They do not yet know that we are stronger together." Sam and Anna looked at each other. They were only children, far from their home, but they knew their place now. They were part of this fight, and they would not turn away. The queen's eyes burned with determination. "The battle has only begun. Tomorrow, we plan our strike. If the veil seeks to tear us apart, then we will show them the power of unity." And so, under the shadow of invasion, the kingdom prepared for war. The lost daughter had returned, not to peace, but to a storm. Yet by her side stood the human children, unexpected and underestimated, who were already shaping the fate of a world far from their own. The morning after the veil's first strike, the palace was alive with tension. Guards patrolled every corridor, and the clatter of boots echoed in the marble halls. The queen moved from room to room, her mind filled with strategy. Her daughter stood beside her, Sam and Anna close at her side, their small hands brushing each other for courage. The royal council gathered in the main hall once more. Nobles whispered under their breath, many still wary of the human children. Some doubted their loyalty. Others believed the princess had made a mistake in trusting them. The queen addressed the council firmly. "Today, the veil has tested us. They sought to breach our palace, and we survived. But many question the role of these humans. Let us see their loyalty firsthand. They will guide a mission outside the city walls to confirm the enemy's movements." Gasps rose in the chamber. The council could not believe that the queen intended to send children on a dangerous mission. "They are small," Lord Varan said sharply. "They cannot survive in battle." "This is madness." The queen's eyes met his. "These children are brave, wise, and loyal. Do not mistake size for strength. Courage comes in many forms." The princess stepped forward. "Mother is right. Sam and Anna have already saved me once. They know the Veil, and they know how they operate. We will need their guidance, the council argued, but the Queen's voice was final. Prepare the scouts. Sam and Anna will lead. All who doubt them may accompany, but they will follow the children's directions. Sam's heart raced. He had never led anyone before, let alone grown alien soldiers. Anna squeezed his hand. We can do this, she whispered. We will be careful. The scouts gathered outside the city gates as the sun rose. The streets were quiet, but eyes followed them from the walls. Citizens hoped for a safe return, yet fear shadowed their faces. The children studied the maps the princess had helped them mark. From their memories of the Veil's patrols, "This way," Sam said, pointing toward a ridge where the enemy ships had been last seen. "They will try to avoid open space. They like dark areas where we cannot see them." The scouts followed cautiously, their weapons ready. Anna led a small group, using her height to see over rocks and small ridges. Together, the children guided the soldiers along hidden paths, avoiding traps the Veil had set. Hours passed as they moved quietly. At last, they found signs of the enemy. Tracks of strange ships were carved into the stone, and smoke rose faintly in the distance. Sam crouched and pointed. There, they are building something. I think it is a weapon or a base. We need to report this to the palace quickly. The scouts nodded. Soldiers whispered admiration. The humans, though small, had shown more skill in tracking and strategy than some of the most experienced scouts. As they began their return, the enemy appeared. A group of Veil soldiers blocked the path, their armor dark against the sun. The scouts froze, unsure how to act. Sam looked at Anna, then stepped forward. "Follow my plan," he said. "We will not fight head-on. We will trick them." He led the group along a narrow canyon, guiding the soldiers into a small pass. Then, with a quick signal, Anna pushed a boulder from the ridge above. The Veil soldiers were trapped between the rockfall and the canyon walls. The scouts attacked from behind, taking advantage of the surprise. The humans moved with quick thinking and calm courage. Sam directed the soldiers, while Anna's timing with the boulder kept the enemy contained. Within moments, the Veil soldiers fled, leaving their patrols scattered and weak. When the group returned to the palace, the Queen met them at the gates. Her eyes shone with pride as she watched Sam and Anna step forward. "You have done well," she said, lifting her hand to silence the cheering crowd. "Not only have you survived the dangerous mission, but you have guided our people to victory in the first test. Your courage and wisdom are unmatched." The princess hugged the children tightly. "I told you, Mother. They are brave and clever. They have proven themselves beyond doubt." The council looked uneasy. Some still whispered, but the Queen addressed them directly. "If loyalty and skill are to be measured, look no further. These humans have earned their place beside my daughter. Those who question them will answer to me." Lord Varan bowed his head silently, realizing the children's bravery could not be denied. The Queen turned away from him, her eyes resting on her daughter and the two humans. A small smile appeared on her lips. The next few days were busy with preparation. Scouts reported that the Veil was strengthening its positions near the shadow fields. The Queen knew the enemy would not stop. She organized the palace defenses, using Sam and Anna's knowledge of human strategy to improve patrols and traps. The humans learned quickly. Sam devised clever ways to hide soldiers along narrow paths, creating false trails for enemy scouts. Anna trained palace runners to deliver messages faster, using hidden routes only she knew. Their efforts made the city safer, and the Queen noticed that the citizens' fear slowly changed into respect. One evening, the Queen gathered the council and her daughter for a strategy meeting. "Tomorrow, we will strike at the heart of the Veil's operation," she said. "We will not wait for them to come to us. We will show that the kingdom is strong, united, and loyal." The princess stood tall. "I will go with the team. Sam and Anna will lead us through the paths they know. With their guidance, we cannot fail." The Queen nodded. "Then it is settled. We fight together, and we fight wisely. Trust in each other, and our enemies will see the power of our unity." When night fell, the palace was quiet. Sam and Anna sat together, talking softly. "Do you think we are ready?" Anna asked. Sam nodded. We have to be. The Veil will come, and we cannot wait for them to strike again. We must be smart, fast, and careful. But we are not alone. The princess, the queen, the guards, all of them are with us. Anna smiled. Then we can do it. We will protect her. The following morning, the strike began. Soldiers and scouts moved silently through the hidden paths, following the directions of Sam and Anna. The princess was at the front, her eyes sharp and alert. When they reached the enemy encampment, the humans led them into positions the Veil did not expect. Sam directed the soldiers to block escape routes, while Anna guided the runners who carried messages and signals. The enemy was confused, caught between attacks from different sides. Chaos spread through their ranks. The princess fought bravely, her presence inspiring the soldiers around her. She moved quickly, giving orders and protecting the humans who had saved her life. The battle ended with the Veil's patrols defeated. Some escaped, but their numbers were broken and their morale shattered. The palace celebrated their victory, and the queen addressed her people. Today, we have seen courage and loyalty in forms we did not expect. These humans, small in size, have guided our people and saved lives. They are heroes of this kingdom, and they shall be honored as such. The council bowed, some with newfound respect, others with quiet humility. The princess hugged Sam and Anna tightly. You see, Mother, I told you. They are brave and loyal. They are part of our family now. The queen smiled. Yes, my child. And in their courage, we have learned that true strength is not measured by size or origin, but by heart and mind. As the sun set over the palace, the city glowed with celebration. The lost princess, her two human companions, and the queen stood together, united by trust and loyalty. The Veil had tested them, but they had proven that unity could overcome fear. And though the shadow of future battles remained, the bond between humans and aliens had grown stronger than ever, preparing the kingdom for whatever challenges lay ahead. The dawn rose over the palace, painting the towers in soft gold. The city streets were quiet, but tension hung in the air. The Veil's forces, though weakened, were regrouping near the shadow fields. The queen knew the final battle would determine the kingdom's safety for years to come. The princess stood with Sam and Anna on the palace balcony. Their eyes were steady, their small hands clasped together. Are you ready? The princess asked. Sam nodded firmly. We have done all we can to prepare. We know their paths, their patterns, and their tricks. Now we fight with everyone. Anna added softly, we will not let them take anyone else. The queen joined them, her crown set aside, her hands steady. Then we go together. This battle will test all of us, but courage and unity will see us through. The soldiers gathered outside the gates. Banners of the kingdom fluttered in the wind, and the citizens watched from behind safe barriers. The queen addressed them with a voice that carried across the city. Today, we face the enemy who has tried to break us. They thought the loss of one child could weaken our kingdom. They were wrong. Today, we show the strength of our people, the courage of our youth, and the loyalty of those who fight for what is right. Cheers rose from the crowd, echoing across the streets. Sam and Anna felt a surge of determination. They were small, but their knowledge of the Veil gave the kingdom a secret advantage. The army moved toward the shadow fields. Sam directed soldiers through hidden paths, avoiding traps. Anna guided runners to deliver signals, warning of enemy movements. The princess led the front, her presence inspiring soldiers to act bravely. The Veil ambushed them near a ridge. Dark ships blocked the horizon, and enemy soldiers appeared from hidden positions. The battle began with a clash of steel and the hum of energy weapons. Sam spotted a group of Veil soldiers trying to flank the army. Over there, he shouted. They plan to surround us. Move quickly. Soldiers followed his direction, cutting off the enemy's path. Anna spotted another group attempting to retreat to a hidden base. She signaled the runners, who carried word to block the exit. The Veil was caught between attacks, their strategy unraveling. The princess fought bravely in the center of the field, protecting those around her and giving clear orders. She moved with confidence, her sword and shield working in perfect harmony. Soldiers who had doubted the humans now looked to them for guidance. Sam and Anna moved between squads, pointing out weaknesses in the enemy lines. Their small size allowed them to dart quickly, unseen by many. Yet their words directed the army with precision. The Veil could not predict their tactics. The battle raged for hours. Explosions and energy beams lit the horizon. Many soldiers were tired, but the humans never wavered. They reminded the troops to hold their positions, to move carefully, and to trust one another. At the crucial moment, the Veil's leader appeared, his black armor shining in the sunlight. He tried to break the army with fear, commanding his forces with harsh orders. The princess stepped forward, raising her sword. "We do not fear you," she shouted. "Your power ends here." Sam saw an opening. "We can block their escape and trap him," he yelled. Anna guided the runners to position obstacles and signal reinforcements. Together, the small humans coordinated a clever maneuver that no one had expected. The Veil leader's forces were trapped between the palace army and the hidden obstacles. Their retreat was cut off, and their morale shattered. Soldiers pressed forward with courage, inspired by the humans' clever planning and the princess's bravery. The final moments of the battle were fierce but swift. The Veil's forces surrendered, knowing defeat was inevitable. The shadow fields were cleared, and the kingdom was safe once more. The soldiers cheered, lifting their weapons high. Citizens who had watched from afar ran to greet the victors. The queen stepped onto a raised platform, her eyes scanning the field. Her daughter ran to her, Sam and Anna at her side. "You see now," the princess said, her face shining with relief. "These humans are brave, wise, and loyal. They fought alongside us, and they helped save the kingdom." The queen smiled and held her daughter close. She then turned to Sam and Anna, kneeling to meet their small eyes. "You have risked your lives for this kingdom. Your courage has saved countless people. You are heroes, and you shall be honored as such." Anna blushed but smiled proudly. Sam's chest swelled with pride. They had come from a distant world, small and underestimated. Yet their bravery had changed the fate of an entire kingdom. The princess stepped forward and addressed the soldiers. "Remember this day. Courage is not measured by size, birth, or origin. True courage is shown by those who act with loyalty, wisdom, and heart." Sam and Anna have shown us all the meaning of true bravery. The citizens and soldiers cheered once more. The humans were no longer outsiders. They were part of the kingdom's story. Many came forward to bow in respect. Others offered gifts and praise. The children, though exhausted, held their heads high. That evening, the queen called a celebration in the palace. Music filled the halls, and tables were set with food from across the kingdom. Soldiers and citizens alike joined in the feast. The princess danced among the people, laughing freely for the first time since her return. Sam and Anna followed her, enjoying the warmth and safety of the palace. During the celebration, the queen addressed everyone. "Let this day remind us that unity can overcome any threat. The Veil sought to divide us, but we stood together. And sometimes, the smallest among us can become the greatest heroes." She looked at Sam and Anna, her eyes full of admiration. "These two human children have taught us that courage and loyalty are what make a true hero. Their actions shall be remembered forever." The princess hugged the children tightly. "You see, Mother, you trusted them, and they did not fail. They are part of our family now, and always will be." The queen nodded, her heart filled with pride. "Yes, my child, you have returned, and you brought unexpected allies who have proven their worth. Today, the kingdom is stronger because of all of you." As night fell, the palace glowed with lanterns and laughter. The battle was over, and peace had returned. Yet the story of the lost daughter, the humans who had saved her, and the queen who trusted them would be told for generations. In the quiet of her chamber, the princess looked at Sam and Anna. "You were amazing," she said softly. "You did more than anyone expected. I am proud to call you my friends." Anna smiled, leaning against her shoulder. "We are proud to be with you. We will always stand by you." Sam nodded. "No matter what comes next, we fight together." The queen watched from the doorway, a soft smile on her lips. She knew that the future was full of unknown challenges, but she also knew that courage, loyalty, and unity could overcome anything. With her daughter safe and her unexpected human allies beside her, the kingdom was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The stars shone brightly over the palace that night, reflecting on towers and fountains. The city slept peacefully for the first time in many years. The lost princess had returned, the humans had proven their worth, and the kingdom had discovered that heroes could come in the most unexpected forms. And so, a new chapter began, one of trust, courage, and hope. The humans were no longer outsiders, the princess was home, and the queen ruled a kingdom stronger than ever, united by loyalty and love.